Hi, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Well, it's been an interesting day. It is now 4:42 in the afternoon, and if you look at the United States USGS or just Google earthquake now Philippines, you'll find out we just had a 5.5 magnitude earthquake in Tagaytay, Cavite, which is about 3-4 hours down the road, I guess. I was in the middle of making this video when I felt it. And I looked up at the chandeliers and they were shaking. Everything's fine. However, let's get back to the video. Sexpats. Oh, what a wicked, wicked thing. You know? Who are the sexpats in the Philippines? But let's just talk about Angeles City, okay? We get all this grief and ration of shit and everything else, but who are the sexpats? Who is it really that is not only promoting, but growing and subsidizing this entire industry? Well, you know what? Let's talk about it.
I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
So, we're going to look at some of the statistics 2023. We're going to also take a look at some personal experiences. Don't jump to any conclusions, all right? But some personal experiences. And then we're going to have to kind of extrapolate a little bit of stuff, but it's pretty obvious, all right? So we live in, all right, two things. First off, number one, please do subscribe, do hit that thumbs up. We try and put out content that's interesting, informative, sometimes a little funny, but it is what it is. Sometimes it hits the mark, sometimes it doesn't. For that, we apologize. Number two, we own a condo here in Angeles City, and we have lived full time in Angeles City for over 3 years now. In addition to that, we own a home in Mindanao that we built. And we've had a residence in the Philippines for going on 10 years now. So, we've been around a little bit. We haven't been blogging like that, but we've been around. So we know a few things, or we've experienced a few things. Okay? Now, with that being said, what I think is interesting is, we don't see Korean bloggers. We do see American bloggers. We see British bloggers. We see Australian bloggers. Okay? And we see quite a few of them that are trying to earn a living, making money. Whoops. Hang on just a second. Okay. Anyways, trying to make a living, talking about anything that'll draw your attention. And apparently, the debate of sexpats and people getting put down as sexpats. Well, you know what? We'll set a few things straight. All right. Let's see here. Let's do this. All right. These are the numbers for 2023 from the Department of Tourism of the Philippines. And if you look at these numbers, okay, all right, at this point in time, what we see, why did I lose my little arrow? I don't know. All right. I have no idea. But you can see 1,288,183 from South Korea, 808,000 from the United States. I mean, you have to go down to fifth place for Australia, and the U.S. falls even further down. Now, we can certainly attest to what we visually see here in Angeles as to the number of Koreans. Who promotes this? Well, I would dare say there's just as many Korean-owned go-go bars, let's call them that, as there are American-owned bars. The Korean bars operate from, some of them 24 hours a day, it seems like, but typically around 9 o'clock in the morning until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. The Western bars, they mostly operate from about 6 p.m. A couple of them open up around 2, but mostly 6 p.m. To 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, they call it Sin City for a reason, all right? They obviously do. And we'll switch this back. Whoops. Well, we'll just do that. There we go. Now, with that being said, all right, we have another perspective. We've seen something we recently saw, okay? We went out to dinner with some friends the other night, and we decided to go have a drink, and we went to one of the bars, and we're sitting at a table. We're just kind of minding our own business, talking amongst ourselves, having a drink, listening to the music. This particular bar has pretty good music, and it's not blaringly loud, all right? And in walks a Korean, and he walks straight in the door, walks right over to the stage, and then stands at the stage. And this is the difference between Westerners and Koreans. So he's like from me to you right now, to the girls. And there's about 20 of them on this stage. And he's looking and looking and looking. And then he's like, all right. He's pointing to a girl in the back to move up front, in front of the girls. All right. So he gets a better look. Then she walks out and he goes, All right. And I'm like, wow. Okay. So then he's like, and he's pointing down the line, come. And boom. He didn't buy a drink. He didn't do anything. He walked in. He picked 2 girls off that stage and bar-fined them and left. And that's the way the Koreans work. Now, they do other things. Don't get me wrong. All right. There are exceptions to all rules, of course, but the Koreans, they own probably close to 50%, if not maybe even a little over 50%. Although there are a few bars that some of the bloggers have identified as Korean-owned bars that are actually owned by Taiwanese on Fields Ave. They're not owned by Koreans. They're owned by a couple of Taiwanese guys. They own 2 bars on Fields Ave that are commonly referred to as Korean bars. Also, in addition to that, they roll in and roll out, and they start early in the morning. I go to breakfast at Tequila Reef, usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we routinely see this walk of shame. The Koreans are bringing these girls back to their bar, all right, and dropping them off. And it's always, it's kind of funny. You get to see and understand that this guy, I saw him on Tuesday, he was bringing these girls, 2 girls, 1 girl, who knows? And here it is Thursday, it's a different girl, and he's bringing her back. All right? In addition to that, you see them going down the street. Now, did they bar fine them that morning? I have no idea. There's, I can't read their mind. All right. We don't watch their particular thoughts. All right. Now, one of the other interesting things, and I said we're going to talk about our personal experience. All right. As I've been referred to as elderly, and you may know that elderly people generally go to bed earlier and they get up earlier. And because of my profession for 40 plus years, I sleep at best 4 hours straight. At the end of 4 hours, I'm awake. Okay? Been like that. Now, I can take a nap during the day. But anyways, I'm up anywhere between generally 3 a.m. and 4 a.m., which is the prime let out time. Our condo sits 4 floors above the front doors to the condo building that we live in. And I have a direct view down to it. It's like the walk of shame. I very rarely see Westerners showing up with girls at 3 o'clock in the morning. But I see a ton every morning. It's like a walk of shame every morning, showing up with girls. Koreans getting out of the trike. All right. They'll have 2 or 3 girls, and it's going to be one guy and 2 or 3 girls. One guy and 2 or 3 girls. More power to you, buddy. All right. I'm not going to say anything about that. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to. My point with all of that is that who really drives the sex tourism here in Angeles City? By far, without a doubt, it is the Koreans. All right. I can tell you that all the Western guys that we see in the condos here, 90% of the time, they're always with the same girl. Always. It's either a girlfriend and they live here, or maybe they've come to see their long distance relationship. I don't know. But either way, the Koreans are literally almost 500,000 ahead in tourists, and I would bet 30-40% here. If you go to the provinces, you don't see Koreans out in the province. I take that back. You know what? I have no idea. You may, but generally you don't. I know that we don't see any Koreans in our province in Mindanao. All right. And I can tell you that of the times that we've been to the mall in Butuan, I've never seen a Korean. I have seen some Chinese. Okay. And yeah, you can learn to tell the difference between somebody from China, somebody from Japan, and Korea. I can't tell the difference between China and Taiwan by sight. I cannot. But there are some facial features that distinctly make them a little different. All of that being said, it is the Koreans, the sexpats that drive Angeles City and drive a large portion, I think. Now, I would ask this. I would say that those of you that are watching this and that are in Cebu and in Dumaguete, what are your experiences with the Koreans? And I would also ask those of you that are down in Subic, because I know the last time we were in Subic, which is probably a year ago, okay, 8 months at least, we didn't see, I don't remember seeing any Koreans, but I'm sure we did. But what's it like down there? What's it like in Dumaguete? What's it like in Cebu? I'd be interested to know. Put it in the comments. If you think I'm wrong about this, if you've seen a ton of Koreans out in the provinces, I'd like to know that too. I don't think I've seen a ton, that's for sure. I'm sure there's some smattered around. but not that many. Otherwise, thanks. We hope you have a great day.